Right, so welcome everybody to Scotland and to the channel and to our van. Just got back from a bit of a walk, so try to warm up with a brew. But today I wanted to just have a quick talk about EDC and what EDC looks like for me living in a van. For those that you don't know, EDC is everyday carry. So it's the things that I keep in my pockets. So things that just help me get through the day, not in my bag, just on my person all the time. So yeah, so that we'd talk through it. There might be something interesting for you that you didn't know about or you hadn't thought about. And hopefully in the comments you can teach me about some stuff that I haven't thought about. So yeah, that being said, I'm Dav. This is Van Life in a Transit. And let's get inside and warmed up and see what I've got in my pockets. Right, so we're back inside and warmed up. So let's get back into it. Boring bit out of the way first. Van keys. So bearing in mind this is me coming at this from a van life point of view, not just normal everyday EDC. Van's kind of your life, so having the keys on you all the time is pretty important. And nowadays they're on me all day long. The moment I get up and put clothes on to the moment I go to bed, they're on me, because you start getting that feeling when when you reach down, touch where you expect your keys to be, and they're not there, and you have that dread panic. Don't like that. So now I just wear them all the time. No nice way of doing it. Just hangs on my belt loop. Done. Hangs from though. Cool little thing. CRKT primer. Any carabiner will do. But this one I've just found dead handy. Everything else to have a bottle opener on it. Done. But this one, it's just a really slim little carabiner. And you've got your little things. You've got a little breaker on the back. And part of my other life, I'm a painter. So having something to open paint tins or scrape off bits of masking tape or anything, it's just a useful little thing to have without ruining your knife or the end of your key. And then on that is, and this is on with a clip, but we'll get back to that. So a little tiny Olight, the I1R2. I've got a few of these because you get them free with a lot of, or you used to get them free with a lot of orders from Olight. But it's just handy when you're trying to find your ignition if it's pitch black, or just an extra torch you can have on you that you never ever leave behind. So, and it's easy, just twist on, done. Charges with a little micro USB. But the useful thing is, so when we were in Sweden, there was lots of little wooden toilet huts in the forests, and they don't have light in them. So as soon as you close the door, it's pitch black. But there's always a little nail or screw somewhere where you can just hook this on, put it on full, and it lights the whole bathroom up, which is nice and handy. So yeah, always got some kind of torch on my keys, even though it's probably a little bit overkill. Anyway, boring bit out of the way. So talking of the little Olight torch, I constantly keep a real torch in my pocket. So this is another Olight. Not sponsored or anything, love to be, but I'm not. So this is the Baton 3, and as you can see, it's still tiny. It's a diddly pop, but it's 1200 lumens. So you got cycles through, double tap for turbo, and so this one I leave clipped on my right hand pocket, just underneath your fifth pocket. Does it say? Yeah, 1200 lumens. So it hangs in my pocket that way on the clip, but then if you're wearing a baseball cap, you put it on that way on the baseball cap, and you've made a head torch. And a lot of people don't like the magnetic chargers that a lot of Olights come with. But again, going back to this being a van life EDC, we run our van off one of the big Bluetti power banks, and just double-sided taped onto the top of the power bank is one of the magnetic chargers. So you literally just, that's always plugged in, so any time of the day you just bob it on, starts charging. So yeah, and I probably use a torch more times in a day than I do a knife or anything that I have in my pockets. I'm lost without it. When you're doing any kind of camping, or even in a house, so many times a day, you don't need to turn the actual lights on. You just need a light for a couple of seconds. And yeah, I'm lost when I haven't got one with me. That's why I also keep that one on my keys. But yeah, and this one is small enough that you can hold it in your mouth, because we all do that all the time. We've got head torches, but you don't do that when you're working under the bonnet or something. You just put this in your mouth and drool all over it. So yeah, so either that one's in my pocket, or if I know that I'm going out for a proper walk or it's already dark, I'll take the big boy. This is the Warrior, what is it? Warrior Mini 2. So same kind of size torch, still has the magnetic thing on the back, but this one's just brighter. I think this one's 1750 lumens, and yeah, you can do that stuff with it. But yeah, it's just an amazing torch. You've got your tail switch on this one because it's tactical, but yeah, it's dead pretty, isn't it? But one of these two is always in my pocket. I just don't see how you can get by in life without a torch anymore, which is mental, because I used to have, you know, the old torch you had that took 73 batteries that all cost like £5 each, and it just lived in your camping bag. Only torch you own, but it just doesn't work like that nowadays, does it? So yeah, a torch, gotta have a torch. So from torches, we go to knives. So again, so in the thumbnail I pointed out this was a UK Legal EDC. So part of that is our quite restrictive knife laws. So we are only allowed a sub 3-inch blade, and it's got to be non-locking. So you've got to have a little knife that's kind of unsafe and can close on your hands. But this, so I went with the CRKT Pilar from Heine Haynes, the UK legal one. So it's the same dimensions as a normal Pilar, but this one's just a double detent, not a liner lock. So it's got a bit of a detent on it, but because of that big massive finger choil, even if it does lock, your finger stops it from going anywhere. So yeah, so this is the Heine Haynes edition, and so that, because it's a UK legal one with the nice red handles. So I don't know what to say really. Like, if you understand having a knife, you understand having a knife. But if you don't, I suppose it seems a bit weird to carry a knife around with you all day when you're not Crocodile Dundee. But the amount of time you need to open a food packet, you need to cut the onions for dinner, that's the only thing you need to cut. So you just grab the knife out your pocket, cut down cardboard, make it smaller for the bin, zip ties under your bonnet from a previous bodge that you did, and today you're going to do it right. Or again, under the bonnet, cutting out a split section of hose so you can just join two good bits back together. The knife that's in your pocket is always the one you grab. You don't always run to your toolbox and grab the Stanley knife. So yeah, for me, I like having a proper knife in my pocket. Not to be scary, not for defense, it's a tool. So yeah, that's what I go with a little brass predator bead, really expensive one from Temu. But yeah, gotta have my knife. And talking of knives, more important really than that is your multi-tool, your Swiss Army knife for me. I like Swiss Army knives. There's a lot of jobs where this is better than a real knife. I never really use the knives on it, but it means that in your pocket you've got pliers. Not as big as Leatherman pliers, obviously, but it's a tiny knife, isn't it? It stays in your pocket every day. And with that, so this, by the way, is the Tinker Deluxe, because I don't really need a corkscrew. When we have wine, we're not really posh enough to have a cork. It's probably just a screw top. So for me, having a screwdriver is better. And behind the screwdriver, you've got your little pin, which honestly, all I use it for is pricking eggs before you boil them. If you know, you know. You've also got, obviously, you've got your knives, big and little. Never use the little one, by the way. Always leave that one super sharp, so you know you've always got a super sharp knife. We have scissors. We don't want to have scissors all the time. There is, sorry, this is really hard under the camera. Didn't think it'd be this hard. We've got an awl, scraper, awl. That's good for, obviously, for all sorts, but it's really good for like scraping like super glue residue off something, or yeah, obviously for boring into wood and leather it works, but I use it as just a bit of a scraper most of the time. But yeah, I love this knife. So, but then you've got to come back to the fact that this is my EDC that's in my pockets every day. So whether I'm out doing the van life thing like we do full time now, or I'm walking round town, a Swiss Army knife's always what I have with me. Because if you're going camping, you have more outdoorsy stuff in your bag, not necessarily in your pockets. But obviously, there's a million Swiss Army knives. This one, I think, is the camper. It got given to me by a friend in Spain. Hiya, Gary. But this one's got the saw in it and stuff. But you don't have the scissors, and I feel like in normal everyday life, scissors are better than a saw. But then you can go massively the other way and just get a Swiss champ. So you've got everything you could ever want. Yeah. It's a chunky boy, but so it's not a chunky boy if you compare it to like a normal multi-tool, which still only does multi-tool stuff, as you know. But so the Swiss champ that people think's too fat to carry around, it's not that much bigger than a traditional multi-tool. And with that, you then get the saw and everything. Because we've all done it. You're walking into Tesco's and you'd think, do you know what? I really need to take the scales off a fish. Or, yeah, but this one has everything on it. But it's a bit unnecessary. I tend to leave this just on the like clutter shelf in the van because you end up needing little tools on it throughout the day. You need to just clip a bit of nail that you've broken or something. But yeah, Swiss Army knives. Keep one in your pocket. And these little hooks, little brass hooks, you get these on AliExpress and Temu and Amazon and stuff. But the hardest thing about a Swiss Army knife is that it just normally lives this in the bottom of your pocket, and it always ends up sideways, looking all weird. But one of these, hang it from the top of your pocket. So for me, that lives in my pocket next to the torch. So from the outside of your pocket, all you've got is the two clips. And yeah, that just hangs in next to it. Don't feel it's there really anymore because I'm used to carrying it. Yeah, Swiss Army knife. Do it. Don't make you a child or a scout. Just means that you did your research and got something good. So, oh, and the biggest thing about a Swiss Army knife, UK knife laws again, UK legal stuff. it's the least threatening way there is of carrying a knife, in my opinion. If you need to cut something open, someone asks you if you've got a knife on you, don't pull your real knife out of your pocket. Pull the Swiss Army knife out and no one will be threatened, because everyone has it in the head that it's what you have when you're a kid. So yeah, non-threatening, it's the best thing you could have in the UK. You don't need to show anyone that you're carrying the other knife, even though the other knife's legal. This looks friendly, doesn't it? There you go. So, a lighter. So if you can cut stuff and fix stuff and you can see stuff, you also want to be able to set fire to stuff. So I carry a Zippo. I am a smoker, and I shouldn't be, but I am. But as in van life, as in normal life, I suppose, you need to light stoves and you need to light fires, and you just burn a loose thread instead of cutting it off. And the ends of your paracord, you need your lighter to just melt the end of the paracord so it doesn't fray to bits. So yeah, a Zippo. I've never had a problem with Zippos running out of gas because I don't know, I use it all the time, but you'd think that'd make the gas run out quicker. But there's people who say that the Zippo only lasts 3 days and then it's out of gas. I don't understand that, because I smoke and use it to light stoves and things, and it tends to last me a good 2 or 3 weeks probably between refills. So yeah, a Zippo is always in my fifth pocket, but because it's still a Zippo, it can run out. I also keep a Bic lighter in the bottom of my pocket because it weighs nothing and it's tiny. And if your Zippo does run out, it doesn't matter, you've got your little Bic that'll always work. So just, if you leave it in your bag, it might not work because then it's going to get cold. But keep it in your pocket, always warm, it'll always work. 2 is 1, 1 is none, all that stuff. And we all know that with fire, it means you can purify water and keep yourself warm. Fire's the big one, innit? You can't just magic fire out of thin air. But carry a lighter whether you smoke or not. Even if it's to help people out, because you meet someone who does smoke, you can be the nice person who has a lighter that they can borrow. Yeah. Help people. Be nice. Right, so that lives in my fifth pocket. Next to that in my fifth pocket lives a pen. So they just sit next to each other like that. But I carry a space pen. Not to be super cool, and I'm not going into space, but it's small and fits in your pocket. They don't write brilliantly, but you're not grabbing the pen out of your pocket to write an essay. I end up using it literally to mark a bit of wood or something, to drill or cut or write a quick note. But so let me get my words together. The space pen writes upside down and everything, can use it in space. But when you're underneath a cabinet and you need to mark a line that you're going to cut, the space pen does it. How annoying is it when you've marked underneath a piece of wood that you're holding together, you go to cut it and there isn't actually a line there because the pen didn't work. This works. But like I say, I wouldn't use it for proper writing. For stuff like that, we're not living under a rock or under a bridge. So if you're writing, you just grab your normal pen, don't you? I write with Parkers, draw with Bics, keep a space pen in my pocket. And to write on, I always keep a notebook in my back pocket now. So it's measurements and stuff that you need to remember to get from the shop, millions of things. And I don't know, it felt weird at first because I'm not a journaly diary person or anything like that. But I never think to look at the notes on my phone. But if I've got this in my back pocket all the time, you just write stuff down when you think, oh, we could really do with more cooking oil. It's all right, I remembered that because I put it in my book. Just carry a notebook. Works. And you can just rip a page out to leave someone a note or give them your phone number. You never know. And he does. These came in a pack of like 10 from the internet for no money. You can go the other way and use writing the reins and field notes, but they're that expensive, I feel bad writing in them, which kind of defeats the object. So yeah, for me, a cheap notebook in the back pocket of your jeans, you can't feel it when you sit down or anything. Keep it there. And speaking of not feeling stuff when you sit down on it and stuff, wallets. I, for years, have carried leather wallets, but you find that it ruins the corners of your card, does a leather wallet, because it doesn't have the structure. So this is new to me. My wife bought me it for my birthday a couple of days ago. This is from Nano. It's like Ridge wallets and everything. It's just a minimal wallet that just keeps your cards together in your pocket. Money clip on the back. But I'm enjoying it at the moment. It's tiny. So I'm always changing bags because, as I'm sure many of you are, we all love a good bag. And because of that, I always keep my wallet in my pocket, where a lot of people keep them in the bag. I swap bags out all the time, and I'll end up taking a bag out without taking my wallet with me. So I thought if I go minimalist wallet, maybe it'll make that easier to be able to keep it in my pocket and not have to put it in my bag and then end up forgetting it. So yeah, I think it's a beautiful little thing. So this is a fat carbon one. I think they're about £50, I think. But, or shred carbon or whatever you want to call it, with orange flecks in it. Always keep your wallet with you. You're living in a van. What if someone broke into your van and then they've got your driving license and your bank cards? That'd be gutting, wouldn't it? Just while you're out for a walk with the dog. So just keep your wallet on you. Don't risk it. I wouldn't, anyway. But that's just me, because part of living in a van, you've got to look after yourself, haven't you? You're out in the middle of nowhere most of the time. Yeah, keep your stuff with you. And lastly, so bearing in mind this is just pockets. These are all things I keep in my pockets, and I'll go outside in a minute and I will show you how I put it all in my pockets. But also on me all the time is a hanky. Just cheap cotton bandanas, because it's a hand towel, it's an oven glove, does everything. And if you're in a hot country, unlike us at the moment, run under some water, hang it around your neck. If you're in the south of Spain, it'll keep you cool. It does everything. While we're in Denmark, it was locked down because of COVID, and I kept forgetting to take a mask with me to places. But it turned out the bandana saved me, because a lot of the time you could just put your bandana around your face like a proper gangster, and it counts as a face covering, so you could still go on the bus or do your shopping. But yeah, just having a bandana, I, I I feel lost without it. I will end up burning my hand, or yeah, or having wet hands. Just bandanas. And as we all know, it's a bit of cotton as well. You could char it, you could set it on fire, you could collect stuff in it, just, and it weighs nothing. Just stuff a bandana in your pocket. It can help everyone out. So that is everything I keep in my pockets. So we'll nip back outside now, and I'll show you how all that stuff fits in my pockets. Cheers. Right, so back outside, still dead cold. So let's just quickly go through how everything goes in my pockets, like I just said I would, just because it looks like a lot in that video we were just talking about, but it's really not. So keys, front belt loop, what have I forgot? Main knife, this pocket, Swiss Army knife, this pocket, torch, spare lighter, wallet, fifth pocket. Pen. Snowy pen. Pocket. Notebook. Back pocket. Swit swoo. Bandana. So yeah, that's how stuff goes in my pockets. But so the point of this video, it was just a quick one, just to get started with the channel. I need to start somewhere before I I just need to build my confidence up. And I thought this was an actually interesting video, an interesting subject to talk about. So please feel free to comment below about what else you'd like to discuss in the coming up videos. Obviously, I'll talk properly about the van and give you a walk around it, talk about bags and kits that we have with us. Whatever you think, really. Bits of gear, bits of camping, real camping when the weather gets a bit better. But yeah, just wanted to create an interesting channel that has interesting things for everyone to hear about, not just random gear reviews on a desk, gear that never gets used. So yeah, I hope it's hopefully had a bit of interest for you in this video, even if it's just one moment of it. And I hope that you subscribe if you enjoyed it. I'm not going to put videos out that are just, quick little vloggy things that no one's actually interested in, because you're not interested in little normal bits of life. But it might be interesting to see how this life's lived from our perspective. So yeah, it would be really nice if you could like and subscribe. And please comment below about anything that you think you'd like to hear about or I should change. Anything, please sound off in the comments. And thank you so very much for watching this video. And I will see you again next week. Thank you so very much. Bye.